Clyde and Tonya Harden are high school sweethearts who have been married for over 25 years and serving in ministry for more than 2 decades. Together, they have raised 3 beautiful daughters, overcome the challenges of homelessness, and built a life grounded in faith, perseverance, and purpose. From humble beginnings to building their own home and now leading a thriving 7-figure business, their journey is a testament to God's grace and resilience. On Unscripted with Clyde and Tonya Harden, they invite listeners into candid conversations about marriage, ministry, and money, sharing real stories, hard-earned lessons, and heartfelt encouragement for couples and entrepreneurs alike. Let's now listen to the Unscripted with Clyde and Tonya.
Hey, there you go. How you doing?
Idiot.
I keep forgetting my camera right there. Sometimes I look over and think it's a camera. No, this right here.
It's in front of you.
Right there.
You stupid. Like for no reason.
Your mama.
You ready?
All right. 1, 2, 3. Hey, everyone. How you doing? This is Clyde.
Tonya.
We coming back to you with another episode with Unscripted with the Hardens. Yeah.
It's Unscripted with Clyde and Tonya. I've been waiting for you to do that. Because you dogged me out on the very first one for doing that. No, it's Unscripted with Clyde and Tonya.
And I would always say, and my slogan is, yo mama.
Okay.
So listen, y'all, real quick. To y'all, I don't know how long we've been gone, but we took a little bit of a break.
Since we went to Punta Cana.
Man, we came back. We did one since we came back to Punta Cana and took a break, but now we're back at it. We need to listen, whatever you do, keep a strong rhythm, but know when you need to kind of step back. We're just not thawing out from the freeze. You know,
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
Yeah.
So listen, I just want to kind of stop and ask my wife a question, man. How has this podcasting experience been for you?
For me, it's been fun because I'm talking to my best friend. So it's cool for me. But I think the cool part about it is the feedback from the people and all the new followers. Wow, What's up? Thank y'all for rocking out with us and following us. We're now over 500 followers.
And what tripped me out, man, I've been watching one podcast and just watching that one podcast grow, but then I looked up and I saw, man, the other ones had quite a few views, and I was really shocked. Mm-hmm. So thank y'all for watching. Listen, do me a favor. If you're watching it and you're enjoying it, we're going to always stay authentic. I talked to a young man the other day, if you're watching, you know who you are. And I was telling him, I said, man, because he's thinking about doing a podcast. I said, man, one thing I'll tell you to do, if you're going to do a podcast, make sure you stay you, make sure you stay authentic, and make sure you don't do it to please the people. Make sure you're doing it to make sure you satisfy yourself.
Right.
So that's what we're trying to do. We survived the podcast about, the
FTB podcast. Lord have mercy. For those that don't know, I did not want. But the crazy thing is, that's the one that got the most views. But not only that, the most people. That whole about ED, I was uncomfortable about, was the one we got inbox, we got calls about. That was really life-changing.
A lot of ladies.
So I thank you for doing it. A lot of ladies really, really came forward.
I think that the ladies are not as embarrassed as men, and I think they're more I was telling Devin before we got started, I think they're more willing to come forward to talk about their experience, or men kind of keep it in. So brothers, if it did help you out, I hope it did, because it helped me out to tell my story again. But most of all, to know that I was able to overcome it without medication, and don't get knocked, man. If you need medication, do that. But truth be told, to be honest about the situation. So it's been cool, man. It's been great. I've been enjoying it. So today we're going to deal with another topic. I don't want to just talk about topics just to be talking about topics. So me and my wife, we always try to chit chat and figure out what we're going to talk about next, right? And if you ever got anything that you want us to talk about, you think that we need to cover it, you think that, hey, I think they're the ones that can really tell us better, call us. I mean, not call us. Inbox us.
Or put it below. Leave your comment. We would love that. Dialogue with us.
Yeah, anything you want to hear us talk about. So we'll bring that out and we'll bring the topic to life. And if it's something relevant to us, we will. But today, me and my wife, we was talking, and she asked me what we should talk about, and we brought up a couple of different topics while we was riding around. And one came up with, I think the original question is how I fired my boss. But I told my wife, I don't think that is as relevant as why I fired my boss.
And I think, too, the reason why it really came up, because, you have people that will reach out to us, reach out to the company and want to know, or reach out to you and say, hey, can I have a sit down with you? Tell me how you get loans. Tell me how you get this. Tell me how you get that. Or how did you get to a point you fired your boss? And I think that's why this would be a really, really good topic for that person that is thinking about, how can I fire my boss? Or why should I fire my boss?
Yeah.
When should I fire? Because I think most people be like, well, the Lord then dropped in my spirit and I'm going to just quit. And you struggle and didn't really, think about it. Which I'm not saying God ain't tell you that. That's not don't get in your feelings. But God never makes us to a point to where we have to struggle so bad when... What is the scripture? Come on, preacher.
Which one?
The one that says that he don't want us to struggle. He don't want us to go through.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But that scripture where he doesn't want us to go through, it's one in there where he doesn't want us to go through. But I think the way that you did it, how you did it, when you did it was so intriguing to me because I was opposite of you. I fired my boss all the time. I quit all the time.
I was a cushion. She knew that she had the
Yeah, I knew I had a cushion to fall back on.
Yeah.
But baby, when he got ready, I wasn't ready for that cushion.
And I think, like I say, I think the most important part, what adds to the when, what adds to the why, the how, it always comes back to the why. I think it's so important. So if you don't, I always say anything, if you don't know your why, you're doing it for all the wrong reasons.
Right.
So if I can just day back, I want you to kind of understand why did I? And when I was preparing myself, obviously, I think all the way back to when we started our church, I always wanted to fire GE. That was not I wanted.
This man just be putting them folks' name out there.
I don't care about that. I'm not diminishing them. I'm just kind of bringing their name up as my arch nemesis now.
Oh my God!
But no, I know GE did me well. GE fed my kids for over 23 years. It paid my bills for over 23 years. So I want
great insurance over 23 years. Traveled the world.
Yeah, it did great.
All things. Of that, and baby, I was right there with him, traveling right there with him. We were able to do that. GE was good to you.
But let's go back to that why. Why? It dates back when I started pastoring. I felt in my heart way back then. So watch this here. My why wasn't because I did it because everybody else was doing it. I was happy being an employee. Had no ambitions of doing anything different. But way back then, I felt in my heart, no different than you. You felt in your heart you were bigger than a job. Mm-hmm. And that was your why. I just sit back and watch you. My part of my why is so many different parts of his why. But one of my why is you, and not because you told me to, not because you said I had to, but because I saw how you was fearless, because the reason why I didn't fire my job, I was afraid. Mm-hmm. Let's go back to the why in the beginning. So I felt in my heart that I love my job. I did a great job in my job. I was succeeding at my job, but I wasn't fulfilled. And I didn't realize how unfulfilled I was until I was working one day and I started doing the church, and I felt like that, man, this is getting in the way of me being the pastor I wanted to be.
Okay.
This was getting in the way of, when we did the nonprofit organization, SJCOC, it was getting in the way of me being the best I could be with the SJCOC. I thought it was so much more in me to where, and listen, I didn't initially say, okay, and that's I think what a lot of people do. They'll get that feeling of the fact that this thing is getting in the way, and they'll just quit. God is telling me, since this is getting in the way, God is telling me I need to quit my job. That is not wisdom, especially when the fact that for a fact you're the breadwinner of the home, you're the sole provider of the home. But that's one of the main reasons why I just really, and I think as I'm talking, you need to talk about how you felt also about why you quit your job, because it's more than just I wanted to be flamboyant. Because I think even that wife or that husband who is maybe not the sole breadwinner and feeling guilty about quitting, is that their why is just important as that person who is the sole breadwinner. Why?
I think for me, I joke about it all the time that I quit jobs. I would work for a job and quit a job, but my children were my why. I would never forget, my child being, and at a time we had daycare. Daycare was costing as much as I was making.
Yeah.
So I was working to pay daycare, and that didn't add up to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, every little dime I'm making is going to daycare. Or even when I got more money it was going to daycare and gas and to food and to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Different stuff like that when I felt like, okay, I can stay at home and be here with my babies.
Yes.
And be able to love on them and give them that, you know, that I would have school with them at home.
Yep.
You know, I would do everything that the daycare would do with them. And it was my children. It was my girls. I'll never forget the job that I was on, and Alana she was a baby. She wasn't even one yet. And I was working for a company. And while working for that company, I would never forget being on that job. And I felt like something was off. And she was working not at a regular daycare, but a cheaper daycare. Baby, watch what you pay for. When you pay for cheaper, you get cheaper. And so she was staying at some lady's house. Nothing against her. Yes, it is against her because I walked in and some told me to get off work, Debbie. Go to the lady house where Madison was. And I started watching my kids. You know, because Lana would stay there too, and Lana was afraid of dogs.
Yeah.
I didn't find out till later that the lady was bringing her dog out on my children while Lana was in this thing ran me hot. Then a pillow, like Alana said, she would bury pillows around her
Because she would be afraid of
because
the
she
dog.
would be so afraid of the dog.
Yeah.
And the woman was making me think she wasn't even bringing the dog out because the kids are so afraid.
And be careful.
She
when they
lied in my
smile.
face.
Be careful when they smile all the time because she always
Wait, smile.
like
Ooh,
she was
Devin. Ooh,
so
it just
happy.
made me mad.
And then realized that smile was a big old cover up.
Man, complete cover up. So this particular day I walk in, and when I walked in, I went to the house, and some just told me to go. I know it was God. So I went there, and the door was open. And I walked, and I didn't see nobody in the house. Her son that just got out of jail was in the back of the house with my freaking baby.
Wow.
When I tell you, I grabbed my stuff, I grabbed my child, I grabbed my baby stuff, and I said, I'm not going back to work. I got to be here with my kids.
Yep.
And I stayed there until Madison got old enough. And then I got another job. I only got jobs to contribute to be a helpmate to you.
Yeah, yeah. It's so
I
crazy,
quit jobs for my children,
Yeah.
but I got jobs to be a helpmate to you.
It's so crazy. And as we're talking, I see this this whole podcast evolving, you know, because, you know, as we talk about this story, it kind of almost evolves from not just why we quit our job, but, you know, how we end up where we are today. Because this is years of obedience in the middle of some disobedience. Because I remember sometimes my wife, she would go get a job in spite of me.
I did.
And she would go out there and she'd get these jobs because, not just because she wanted to be a helpmate, let me put her in the streets.
Oh, go
Because
ahead.
this Negro wasn't going to tell me how to
What to
spend
do.
my money.
Yup.
I'm going to spend my money. And
Oh, so rebellious. I didn't care. I
so
didn't
she
care.
would rebel because we knew. I'll never forget the day that God told me that. We went back and forth for years. God told me that, you know, I need to make it to where my wife don't have to work.
I remember that I was working for Siva.
Yeah.
And that's when I was on the cane.
Yep.
I remember that. I was on the cane and you said the Lord told you not to work. And I looked at you and said, whatever. I'm going to here and I'm going to work. And later on, they end up letting me go.
So I want to talk to that woman. I want to talk to that family. Forget the woman. I want to talk to that family because your purpose is bigger than a perception. Your purpose is bigger than everyone else's thoughts. You know, right now I'm dealing with somebody and I want to tell them so bad how they need to do this, how they need to do that. But really and truly, I need to tell myself, mind my business. Because I wasn't going to listen to nobody telling me what I should do. But remember, your purpose, sometimes our purpose is so blatantly in our face that we know for a fact that, you know, as a wife, I'm supposed to stay home. You know, as a husband, you're supposed to work so many hours a day, or vice versa. You know, as a husband, you're supposed to stay home and wife's supposed to do it. But we're so busy trying to match the perception, everyone else, to where we can't even, you know, accept the plans that God has for us. And so my wife, I knew day one, not because I was this authoritative husband, this man of all mans, and a woman stay home barefoot, pregnant, and cook, you know, and husband work. No, I knew day one, my job was to ease her responsibility to provide and give her flexibility to become.
Baby, you're a man. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that about you is that you wanted to make sure I was protected and provided for. and in every way of capacity that could be. That I appreciate that. But go ahead.
So as she evolved and she would get her firm moments of, because now I was controlling.
Did he say fair moment?
Her firm.
Firm. Oh, okay.
Her firm moments.
Go ahead.
Her AKA stubborn moments.
Okay.
Okay. But it was, even though I wasn't the most godly when we first got married, I always was sensitive to what I felt in my spirit that's supposed to happen. And so she would really work hard to make sure it was a shift. Let me get wrong. There was a shift. I feel like this is going to really help some people.
Really?
Such a small topic. I really feel like this is going to really help some people.
Okay.
But I saw her so many times, in the beginning, going back and forth with trying to make sure that I couldn't tell her what to do with her money when we was in Mississippi and other places. But also I remember times she shifted because she couldn't stand to see me struggle. But most times she knew in her heart she was not supposed to work. And it wasn't because she wanted to be lazy. My wife was never. Get it in your spirit.
Go ahead.
Man, woman of God, tell your husband. Or man of God, tell your wife. Listen, I don't care what nobody else say. You know who I am. My wife was never lazy. She cooked.
What? You feel like you're struggling? What's the matter?
I said cooked, but like she
whatever. I cooked. I'm not a great cook. I don't care.
She prepared
but
food.
I cook. I prepare food. The Lord blessed me with a husband that can cook.
Yeah.
Don't be putting me out here in these streets like that. Now I can cook some chicken. Don't play.
She cooked now.
Yeah.
But back then she prepared food.
Yeah,
She
I
made
would
sure-
try. I can't believe you did that to me.
Hey, I'm in the church. I can't lie.
Yes. Oh, this man ate my rice. Let me tell y'all how much this man loved me. I had rice. I had been, this before the children, because I really had to learn how to cook. I had to call my mama and ask her really, really how to cook, okay? But I remember cooking rice, and this man would eat my rice forever. Long story short, my cousin come home. My cousin come out of town, and they're staying with us. And that girl, she's very honest, Pumpkin, very, very honest. Pumpkin was like, girl, this rice is hard. And I'm looking like, really? Like, I thought it was supposed to be like that.
I love you
She's
so
like,
much.
cousin, no, this rice is pathetic.
I love this so much.
And he loved me so
I
much that he
sacrificed
did
my
not tell
digestive
me.
system for her.
Baby, he wouldn't even tell me. I'm like, I need you to tell me stuff like that so I can know how to cook
But
for you.
you do know how to cook now. You know how to cook
Yeah.
then.
No, I know how to cook certain
Yeah.
things. I don't care. I
You do
take
good
that.
now.
Yeah.
But my wife, she never was a lazy woman. She prepared food. She took care of our kids. She made sure we had what we needed. But I thought we was in this thought process so much of trying to be what everyone else thought what a marriage should be, to where we would literally adjust and go back and forth, and you would go back and forth to work. But at some point, I forget, I was in preparing for work, and when I was preparing for work, you was struggling, trying to get to work that day and
Getting the
trying to
kids
get the kids together. We was living in Conroe, and God told me to tell you to quit. That you were bigger than just that moment, and I believe that obedient moment. Watch this here, me being obedient to God telling you, babe, quit. Don't work. You being obedient to, okay, babe, I'm not going to work. Allow God then to use you to start evolving into the woman that you evolved into that prepared the way for me to quit.
Yeah, okay.
I got to acknowledge the fact that our willingness to embrace our own journey began our journey.
Oh, that's so good. I want to high five you. High five. That's good.
I think so many people spend too much time, man. I feel like somebody right now listening to me, and you know you are imprisoned to the perception of your relationship so much to where you have neglected your beginning to your whole entire journey of your real life, your real marriage. And
I want to say this though, even to that person, because here's the thing: we were living check to check.
oh yeah,
But the thing is that I know we said in one video, like we didn't know, we weren't budgeting properly, but we made it work. We were good stewards to a certain extent.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? To a certain extent. So I say that to say, because I know it may be somebody out there that is like, okay, well, I'm going to just stop working and just let him make it. Now, if he's making, $14 an hour, that's not going to work. You got to literally know the season and the time of that.
Yeah.
That was a season of our life that I had to work.
Yep.
That was a season of our life that I did not. The Lord bless my husband. He's in the military. So he is military check. We knew all these different things that were coming in that would be able to help us so that I would not have to work. It was more feasible for me not to work because of daycare, because of spending money in gas, because of, wear and tear on the car. It was cheaper for me to stay home
Yes.
than to go to work. So you got to know wisdom and know the difference. So I do want to say that.
And I'll even say this here: if you're trying to figure out, God, our moves shouldn't surprise God.
Oh, geez, on main line.
And I think what happens is, God had this whole rhythm set up right here, and all of a sudden, boom, you did something totally different. Your move, and what I mean by shouldn't surprise God, everything you go through in life, God has you facing different things, learning different things, having different things, and all of a sudden, you just jump totally out of that rhythm of that. That's not God. But you would know it's like certain resistance you'll face and certain issues, and you'll know, like, man, I've been fighting like crazy against this till I don't want to do it. But at this point, I'm realizing that I'm fighting against the grain. God has told me to do this. God has told me that I need to do this. And so my wife was fighting. I mean, she would go through all kind of trouble, trying to get the work, trying to make this happen. After a while, you realize, hold up, this ain't for me. And we both had to embrace that this wasn't for you. And so that was when we made the journey, right? So when you started making that journey, it's almost like we started settling in to the plans of God. And we started, okay, God. And it wasn't about the church, even though we started the church by now and everything, and we thought the church was going to take us. Sometimes, they say you want to make God laugh, tell them your plans. We had all these plans that we thought was going to happen, but it wasn't about the church. It wasn't about that. Man, this is, listen, I want you to understand me. It's something about the peace of really just relaxing and settling in and say, okay, God, whatever you say, do. We're going to do it. That's bigger than church. That's bigger than ministry. It's so funny when you could do all this stuff for church and for ministry, but you can't do it for yourself. We did a whole lot for church. We did a whole lot for people. Man. We did a whole lot for children. We did a whole lot for everybody else. But me and my wife, at that point, we probably been married maybe about 15 years, maybe 10 years. We had never slowed down and embraced God's plan for us. Now watch, God, my shit. The more we settled down for us, life started moving fast.
Yes.
While we was keeping up with life, we never really could take care of ourselves. But the moment we settled for us, people started leaving.
Yeah. Man.
It's almost like we were trying to hold on to the job, we were trying to hold on to people, we were trying to hold on to all these things. So we was keeping up with the journey, but neglecting us. But the moment we slowed down, people kept on moving. And it let people move our life, people open our life, let things leave us that supposed to leave us, because now we got it's like the storm, the hurricane, the tornado. The tornado's going on around us, but in the middle, we were just being us. No matter, God, I had a dream one day, God says, don't focus on the storm around you. He says, just stay focused on what I told you to do.
And I remember in my dream, and it was the same time, I had a dream. We were in the middle of a tornado, and I was looking up, but I could see we were in the hole of it, the eye of the tornado. Yeah, and it was like big old trucks and big stuff going around us, but we stood still in the middle. We were so calm in the middle of that. And I just believe when we, like you said, that's huge. When you learn to focus on you, and what God has designed you to do, even though you may be serving others. I heard T.D. Jakes say this the other day. He said, when I looked up, I poured into everybody. I love serving people. I love giving back to people. I feel like him. I love serving people. I love to give back to people. I love to see people win. But when I keep seeing people win and I forget about me, I don't take care of me. I don't rest. I don't relax. I don't go get a massage. I don't look, Brother Devin, I'm into massages. I need one every other week.
About to fire a masseuse.
Right. I have no idea. But until you realize that you serve people, and ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah. It's like it becomes a thing that almost like contagious in a good way. Yeah. To where you're like, I want to serve everybody. I want to give everybody. I want to see everybody win. I want to see women go, You do all that, and now you forget. You look up 15, 20 years later, what have you done for you lately?
That is 1,000% right.
And I believe that's when around 2016, 17, we started doing us. Yep. And that's when the living, we started living so that we can live.
Living so we can live.
Yep.
And watch this here. I think, and I want to challenge that lady or that man right now that's watching this video and share this, man. I feel like there's a spirit of healing in this podcast. Share it with everybody you can. But I want to talk to you for a second. I want you to analyze your day. I want you to analyze your day. Then once you go from analyze your day, I want you to analyze your week. And after you analyze your week, then I want you to see if you look at this day and this week and do that look like your whole month. And ask yourself this. from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, do I do stuff for people? At the end of the day, I feel so unappreciated because everything I done was for them and no one showed me that they appreciated me. If you do that for a day and then you do it for a week, do it for a month, that means you're literally using yourself as a currency for people, hoping they pay you back a portion of what you gave out. And if you keep doing this, you're going to end up empty. The difference, I'm going to share what the difference is. So what you've been doing, you woke up responding. It's two different things I want to share with you right now. You woke up responding to people. You responded to the kids. You responded to the husband. You responded to the job. You responded to the parents. You responded to the friends. You responded to everybody else's needs for yourself, right? That's one wrong thing. The second wrong thing, you woke up trying to accomplish what you wanted. Because some people say, you know what, forget them. I'm going to do what I want. And you think it's different, but it's not, because now you start trying to add to you externally to satisfy the same thing you're trying to get from people. You try to get from stuff. So watch this. So you say, it's going to be I'm going to get what I want. So you start, doing it with sex, drugs, clothes, money, and it's still external goals and ambitions to satisfy internal problem. And so what should you do then? If I can't wake up and respond to people, if I can't walk up and try to add to things, what you got to wake up and do and respond to you. This is the key. You wake up and say, man, where am I empty at? What am I missing? And internally you'll know, man, I need some peace. I need some silence. I need to work on my health. I need to work on my mentalness, my mental issues. And when you start waking up and you start focusing on you from the inside out, now people gotta wait for you to respond to you before you have time for them. So that's where you started doing. You woke up one day and you said, Clyde, it's not about you. I got to respond to me. Mm-hmm. And you made it okay for me to focus on me, because even though I watched you come out of your sickness, because we talked about the sickness before, I watched you come out of your sickness. I watched you start settling down and focusing on you. And it made me okay to say, dang, if she's focusing on her, I got to start focusing on me. And I started listening to the me inside. And I started dealing with it. When I started listening, it started turning to panic attacks and anxiety and all those things. But I became comfortable with who I am. Mm-hmm. And I stopped trying to respond to the church. I stopped trying to respond to the people. Now watch this here. This all goes back to why I fired my boss. It led from me understanding now what I have to do to feel accomplished, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. What are you looking at me like, man, what are you?
No, I'm trying. Yeah, I'm listening.
And so that's where everything led from. So watching you do what you did, watching you then now not show up on a podcast or show up on a video because the people wants to hear me, but I saw you show up on a podcast, show up on a video, or write books and everything because you were living out loud from the inside out.
Yeah, and I wanted to share with the world, be you, right? Become her, whoever that her is, and give them the tools and the principles to do that. Because I found it. I wanted to teach everybody else how to find it. Yep. And that's what BAM started. Because I'm like, let me show you how to see yourself through God's eyes and not people. Now, that was the vision for Women of Destiny for the longest. Yep. But it didn't hit me, David, until I literally had to realize I don't need to worry about what these people think about me. It's like, God, what you think about me, you love me, you know the real me. And I found out if you don't spend 24 or 48 hours with me, you really, and I say that, but I don't think people, when that click, wait, you don't know me like that. At all. So whatever you think about me is none of my business. Your perception and your way of thinking about me, if you never sat down with me, never had a conversation, and even if you sat down with me and you took it to you don't know me, you don't know my heart, you know what I'm saying? And God knows my heart. I know I mess up, I know I make mistakes, but to show another person that your heart is so pure when you change your heart. That's it. Your heart is so pure when you become the person that because I was a pastor's wife, but I was still becoming the woman that God wanted me to be. That's it. So that means transformation was happening. Transformation was happening within my heart. Transformation was happening within my mind. And if I'm going to transform, I got to be willing to walk into turbulence, mistakes, mess ups, adversities, and I'm going to do some stuff wrong, but God know me.
That's it.
You know?
And you have to listen. She had to do that in spite of me, and that was the biggest. Like, what you mean, woman? You supposed to make sure.
Yeah, I never forget. Brother Devin ate him up because I looked at him. To all my listeners out there, he was like, I'm a good man. I'm this and I'm. Yeah, you are, but I am too.
Yeah.
I am a good woman, and guess what? I can do this with you, or without you. I don't want to do it without you because I love you. But if you're not going to allow me to become her, I can do this with you or without you.
Watch this here. Man, this is good. Our fights that we started having then was about us and not about everyone else.
No.
Before, we was fighting about everyone else because they were our life. Now they didn't matter. Now we finally got a chance to deal with us, in us and with us. You got to deal with you, and the who you was becoming came against who we were. Yeah. And then you were able to fight me for you, and it didn't have to do with your mama, didn't have to do with your sisters, your cousins. It was the fact that you.
I don't think it became against. It was against
who
we were, but it was who we were. But I mean, who we was, but not who we were becoming to be. And because who we were becoming to be, I messed that up for us. Because in your mind is that we're good.
But watch this here. You evolving and finally becoming comfortable with you while I'm still trying to please people.
Yes, and I did not care.
It no longer work that I can still care about the church and care about everyone else and make everybody else happy while you're trying to make us happy, us good, while I'm still trying to say, well, you neglecting the church. Ain't you the first lady? How you gonna be on this podcast all the time? How you gonna be doing this and all this? It's like you were You were abandoning. And
that's what I'm so glad we talking about this.
Me too. It's good
because it's real talk. Like that's exactly how you feel. And I kept thinking, I feel like this. Oh Lord, I pray this helps somebody. I felt like I'm on the other side of this river. I'm trying to get you over here because on this side it feels good here. You know what I'm saying? On this side, this is peace. On this side, God's love for us is so much bigger than what people are saying about us. On this side, it's so much better. But you wanted to stay on the other side of the river.
I didn't know anything different.
Yeah.
I thought, and listen, my wife watched me self-destruct, self-sabotage at the cost of me.
But you watch me too, though.
But my point, like in this transition, I mean, obviously I watched you too, but at this point, it was. Don't try to baby me.
No, because you try to make it seem like I was just all together.
No, but at this
point,
point, you wasn't in the beginning. Okay. In this moment, even though you did it in a mean way on how you did it, because she wasn't nice about it.
I wasn't.
She was very like, it's this or the highway. But it was a rude awakening I need because, and which I'm trying to tell everyone is, I want you to understand is you got to embrace, number one, you. And once you embrace you, then you can embrace who you're married to and your family. It's like the old saying on the plane, if we lose oxygen, grab your mask, put your mask on first, and then help someone else. My wife had to embrace who she was, and when she embraced who she was, she realized who I wasn't, and she had to make sure you're not gonna pull me back into this place. Bishop would have told us, get them people off your heart. What he's saying, stop caring so much about people to where you neglect you.
Yeah.
And whether you're a husband, whether you're a wife, whether you're just a single person and you worry about pleasing people, but you haven't taken care of you. So what I want you to understand is that, this podcast started off talking about how I fired my boss, but I can never talk about why I fired my boss without talking about how I had to first divorce who I was to my boss. And once I divorced who I was my boss, I no longer fit the role anymore. I no longer fit the position. I had to fire the church. I had to fire everybody. I didn't just fire my boss.
Okay.
I fired everybody.
Ooh.
And then I had to resurrect and then redefine myself as a.
Yeah, I get it. Yep.
I had to redefine myself as a pastor.
Yeah.
And luckily, it still fit my life.
Same here. I had to redefine myself as.
This is good.
Yeah. We're going to have to talk about firing boss later.
Yeah.
Look, but I had to. This is still a part of that, though.
Part of it.
I had to literally, like you said, I had to redefine who I was as a pastor's wife. To every pastor's wife out there, when you are, and you will only understand this and no one else will, is that when you become a pastor's wife, you start to live in the world of your husband. And when you start to live in the world of your husband, you end up being in this box. And now you're in the world of people. It's not until you break away from the box of being this person that everybody expects you. And if you're just starting to be a pastor's wife, listen, get my book, shameless plug. Get my book, You Are the Fragrance for Pastor Wives, that I wrote just for women like you. I wrote this book because I was a woman that was so busy either trying to be like what I saw or be like what I thought I should be or do what people thought I should do or do what my husband wanted me to do. But I had to realize really, really quick, no, I have to find out who I am as the pastor's wife of New Destiny.
That's it, man. And when she began to do that and I watched her do it, I was angry at first. I was, because I was part of the divorcing. She divorced me as the husband I was. We still had the paperwork. We still was married. But I'll never forget, my wife came to me one day. She got sick, and she looked at me, and she says, up until the day, all I've been was Clyde's wife, Kiana Alana Madison's mother, and the first lady of New Destiny. I have been nothing for myself. Starting today, all that ends.
I acknowledged. I made an announcement.
You made an announcement. You made a shift.
Well, I didn't just shift. So, Pastor White, please know that. Don't you just go shifting. You make an announcement. I made an announcement to the women of my church. I don't think they got it.
And listen, but I put the guilt trip on her. I did. I put you started this and you gonna change up now, because it was unrecognizable to me.
Yeah.
I don't understand, how can you get out this drowning boat so okay with it?
No.
And then realize none of us should have been that drowning boat. We all should have got this boat. You just got the word in the revelation sooner because you almost died.
Yeah.
And you decided that if I'm going to die, I'm not going to die here.
Well, I think my aha moment, Brother Devin, was when I was on the cane. They had to carry me out of the car. I had to go. They took me into the church. I don't know if I ever told you my vocal cords. I couldn't sing. So that messed me up. Like, I couldn't even sing because my vocal cords were so swollen. Yeah. And I had 3 or 4 women. Prayer came. You preached an awesome message. Then prayer came. And it was like 3 or 4 people that came up to me for prayer. I'm sitting in the chair. I'm swollen. I'm up here. I'm barely here. And I sat there and I prayed with them. Don't get me wrong. But that was my aha moment, that you have given too much access.
Yep. You're just a vessel for them.
You're just a vessel. They do not see your pain. You got to worry about you.
Yep. Yep.
And I made an announcement when I came back to who I was. I did a whole prayer call. I never forget it. And God told me to deal with 4 things: rebuild, restore, renew, and remove. Yep. And I did that, but I didn't know what was going to happen after I did it. But I made an announcement that God told me to do this. Grab the women, have this prayer call. When you do this prayer call, I want you to remove yourself from these situations and focus on what I've called you to do.
Yeah.
Your call is bigger than the 4 walls of a church. Yep. Now move in it with no apologies.
That's it.
After that call, stuff hit the fan on your behalf. And stuff happened to you. I'm sitting back like, ooh,
yep.
I know what he going through. I'm praying for you. I'm here for you, but I know it's going to strengthen you and it's going to make you better.
Yep.
Because at that point, I literally untied myself to this ministry. It no longer had a chokehold on me.
Yep.
To where I'm learning, even as I go. I'm still learning. I want to still do for the women in my church. I love Women of Destiny has been in ministry for now 14 years. I love what I do with them, but it is not who I am.
Yes.
I'm more than that.
We can start a slogan saying passion is what we do, is not who we are.
Yeah.
I think we years, this has been a year journey of us finding ourselves. You got your relief when you got your kidney disease and God brought you out of it. I got my release when I started having all kind of panic attacks and anxiety. Mm-hmm. But long story short, when we was able to sit back in this thing and say, okay, now we're going to focus on this. Mm-hmm. We're not going to focus on, and watch this, building, even though we make avenues like the podcast, mm-hmm. the church, and we make avenues like, Lions Den, mm-hmm. to help people. And so people are like, well, what you mean you don't focus on helping people? You got no, those avenues are moments,
Right.
moments. We focus on us right now, and people benefit from our bleed over and sharing information. But right now, I mean, everything we do now is 100% on us trying to make sure we're responding to God.
And I think when you learn that as an individual to focus on you, then you can help everybody else.
Yep.
You're able to serve, you're able to meet a need because you are healed.
Yep.
Your wounds are being healed. And when you're able to heal from those wounds, it will turn into wisdom
That's it.
on what you do, how you do, and when you do it.
Yep.
And that part is important. That's why I love when you left your job and you said you're firing your boss. You didn't leave because I just want to leave. You moved in wisdom. You didn't just leave because they're not doing me right or I'm mad at what they. You weren't even mad with them.
No,
It wasn't even up.
They got mad at me because I left.
Yeah, they did. They did him so bad. I feel so bad for you. But the thing is, they wanted you more than, but you left the right way.
Watch this. I got to go back here because I think I abandoned this, and I think somebody needed me to go back here. So when I woke up, I didn't just fire my boss. I fired the church. I fired my family.
That just sounds so bad.
I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna fix it. Okay. I'm gonna fix it. But I fired the church. I fired my family. I fired my boss. I fired some family members, and some family members gonna watch this, and you're gonna hear it, and you're gonna know my truth. But I fired some family members, and when I resolved me, I came back, and I was still your husband.
Yeah.
But I was your husband with the new version of me, and
yes.
So we survived my transition.
Yes.
So I my children survived.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, y'all was waiting on my transition and was hurting because I did not transition. So y'all was actually happy for my change.
Yes.
I woke up, some of the church members survived my transition.
Yeah.
And watch this. We lost over 35, 45, maybe even 50 members. But I got to realize that they were never my members. They was a member of that old guy.
Yeah.
I had to fire them, renew me, resurrect, come back as the real me. And some people now have came back because they like this me better than like the old me.
Yeah, so true.
And I'm so detached.
And some have not embraced the new you.
Yep.
And I love this. I want to say this because even in that, I went through my counseling moment. You went through your counseling moment to where, as a pastor, a bishop, you got counseling.
Yeah.
To where you were able to find that part of you.
Yeah.
We were patient. I was patient as your wife. My children was patient as your children. And we were there to embrace that, but everyone did not embrace that change.
Watch this here. When I show up in a room now, it's so evident to me. When I show up in a room now, and they're trying to pull the old me out, I know I don't belong there.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how to appreciate the new me, and you are still stuck on the old me. So the reason why I don't keep coming back, because you won't embrace my change. I fired you.
Stop saying that. That just sounds so bad. It sounds so bad.
No, because I show back up to work. And you couldn't handle me.
Okay.
So it'd be different if I fired you and I walked off and thought I was better than you.
Yeah.
No, I left. I redefined me. I came back in trying to be the me I was. It didn't fit. I never forget the day I fired my boss. I didn't fire my boss last year. I fired my boss when I realized I didn't fit no more.
It's been 2 years though, right?
No.
Yes, it have.
No.
Bishop, you fired your boss 2 years ago. You never know dates. Bless your whole soul.
It was November last year.
No, it was not.
We
Baby, you fired your boss. No.
So
no.
I never forget when I fired my boss. I'm not going to fight past 2
Okay, I got a whole picture of us doing a celebration for you that happened 2 years ago, sir. But go ahead.
We're going to pray for Pastor T.
No, we're not. I'm gonna show him the receipts.
Anyways, but I never forget the day I fired my boss. And watch this here, man. Because I want to go so far with it, but I never forget the day I fired my boss.
We're going to do a part 2 on this to go through the whole thing.
I was in Colorado. I'm sitting in a room, and they was talking to me, and they was saying some stuff to me, and they was making some decisions, and all. And I'm sitting in this room. I looked around at this one guy. I'm like, man, he's about to retire. I looked at this one guy. He just starting, and I knew at that moment that if I stayed any longer, I was going to be staying because I didn't fit no more. This did not fit my life anymore. I called my wife. I said, babe, I won't be here much longer. She said, why? I said, because I was just in a room that I realized I didn't fit. Now watch this here. Some people in some relationships, they don't fit. Some people around some friends, they don't fit.
Come on here,
But
glory.
you were so busy responding to people to where you never heard yourself. I was in this room and I was able to listen to myself, Devin, and realize this don't fit. When I resurrected, and as a pastor, I still fit in the room. Some folks didn't fit in the room, and thank God they left. I resurrected as a wife. My wife still fit in my life. You know, I wasn't living a lie. I was just not being me, and she was able to love the
No,
new me
life
better.
just happened.
Yeah.
And you, again, it goes back to that word becoming. You were becoming the man that God wanted you to be.
Yeah.
Not what no family member, no wife, no children, none of us wanted you to be, but who God wanted you to be. And when you're becoming that, if you love
that's good.
if
That's
you
good.
love me enough, you'll become with me.
That's all I was
If
gonna
you
say.
love me
That's
enough,
good. Anybody
you
really
will
do
rock
love
out
you.
with me. Anybody that love me, that's why I love my friendships, Devin. People that I've been rocking out with 20, 25, 30 years. You gonna love me no matter. I don't gotta ever talk to you, but you gonna love me because you know, man, that's Tonya. Tonya's still the same Tonya. She ain't changed. She is, she
Not
is.
just
But
this.
she changed for the better, and I can learn from her now, and we can grow together in this season for that part of me.
Anybody who can't handle your growth is stuck to your death.
Woo, Jesus.
They was enjoying you dying for them because now your growth means you may leave.
Jesus on the main line.
And so that's why it's so important. So anybody who survived my transition they don't have to transition with me. They can be a cheerleader. They can be a whatever they want. But if you can't handle my growth, that means you was okay with my dying and wasn't being the best of me. And so, you know, as I sat in that room and looked in that room and I said, man, this is not me no more. It's not. I knew it was a matter of time. I was able, no different than a baby, Devin, in the belly of mama and realize, okay, I don't fit here no more. Whether mama like it or not, baby got to come out. If mama don't like it, she gonna hurt, but still, I gotta come out. This is how God wants us to be. God don't want us to be stuck anywhere in a condition forever. God wants us to be able to grow and recognize it's time for me to move. And when I got ready to move, whether they liked it or not, I had to do it. And so it's been some relationships in my life that where people want me to be old me, and I'm not gonna be that anymore. I am who I am, no different than who you were. And so when I walked off my job that day, finally, whenever date was past T-mine,
You didn't walk off. Let me tell you. No, because people be like, oh, I walked off. No, he didn't walk off. He called them folks, and he said, he went in. First, he kept saying he was going to
Can I
do
say
it.
this first though before you say
Okay.
that? Watch this here. And a baby know he can come out because he know there's been something prepared for him on the other side. That when I leave this, I'm going to what was prepared for me that was better. So I didn't just walk out my job because I wanted to be rambunctious. God had already prepared something for me. I just had to be willing to transition. The transition hurt. The transition was tough. The transition was hard. But I knew I didn't just leave just because I wanted to find myself.
The transition one didn't hurt. For the job?
For you,
Okay. Go ahead.
because the biggest part for me was I have to transition from trusting me to trusting God. 100%.
Okay, got you. Okay.
That hurt
Yeah.
because still today I'm like, God,
Where you at?
give me a 5 year.
Yeah.
Listen, if God gave me a 5 year contract, I wouldn't even get excited. Why? I think He'll let me lose it in 2. Just to show me, Joker, you don't run nothing.
You don't run nothing. Okay, I get that though. I get that.
So
You
God,
literally
I
have
just
to.
take whatever you want. You
Yeah.
know, I just keep on doing what you do because you've been doing a pretty good job of providing.
Yeah.
Been doing pretty good.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord. I think what's more important about this was not truly when I fired my boss, is when I found me. And I think it's the most part about this, when I found me and I was able to focus on me. So now,
I wouldn't even say found you. I would say
Focused on
when
me.
you faith it. It was to a point
no,
to
I won't
it.
say fake that. I would say when I started focusing on me.
You started having more faith in what God could do with you because you can't do this without the Lord.
I know faith is part of it, but at the end of the day, I had to start focusing on the me that God told me to focus on and become where I became. I had to literally start focusing on me. And I think what you start doing, you start focusing on you.
Yeah.
Because faith can be such an external thing sometimes. When I don't believe in faith being external. That's a whole nother
Okay.
podcast. But I think faith, it starts with internal. I had to see something and then believe that what God was showing me was who I was.
Yeah.
And so I would love to rename this podcast to When I Focused on Me.
Yeah. I love the name. Now, how we start out with one podcast and go to a whole
I have
different one, I
no
don't know.
idea.
But that'll work. But I do think that you need to share later, probably at the next one, like share how you went about finding your boss? Because you got people out here that's just walking away from jobs saying I'm finna start a business, and they end up going back to their job.
Let's we'll talk about it. We'll talk about the fact of how I quit my job or why I quit my job. I think the how now makes sense because we know the why. It wasn't something that just happened randomly. It literally.
You found you. That's why you quit.
And you can't quit anything and grow unless for a fact you're doing it out of obedience to God.
True.
Oh, that's another podcast right there.
That's it.
Quitting with integrity.
Oh.
Because I think a lot of times people just quit just because. I think we really need to have integrity in what our transitions in.
That one gonna eat me up because I never quit with integrity.
Well, we thank you for this last episode. It's been a great episode where we got a chance to kind of just shift. So no longer is it just about firing my balls, but I think it's about making sure you're able to find yourself, be okay with who you are, and then make the needed adjustments, even if it's costing you a job, costing you friendship, relationships. As long as you're not doing it because of them, but you're doing it for you. I think that's the main thing about it. Any last words you want to say?
Man, rock out with us, share, all that great stuff. Come out, rock out with us every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. And we missed 2, but now we're back. We had to take a break. It was a season change.
This new season. We're in a new season. That's what it is. We got a new season coming.
New season 2.
Season 2, we coming down. Let's go.
That's it. Share with your friends. Share with your family. Share with your children. Share with your husband and wife. God bless you. We love you. And we're going to get an exit statement one day. But until then.
We had one. I just can't remember it.
Until then, be blessed.